Greetings everybody, welcome back to this new episode. In this episode, I am going to talk about the publish subscribe pattern and how to implement it using RabbitMQ. So in the previous section or episode, we learned how to send a simple message from one producer and then one consumer using one named queue. The name of the queue was hello. Now, in this episode, we're going to explore different patterns, like for example, publish, subscribe. So publish, subscribe means that there is a message, right? One single message produced by a producer, but delivered to more than one consumer. So this is very useful in scenarios like distributing live messages, or for example, microservices, event-driven architecture, and so on. But before we get to the publish subscribe pattern, I need to talk a little bit about the concept of exchanges in RabbitMQ. Now, in the previous example, we had like a very simple hello world example. We sent messages directly to a queue, right? The name of the queue, if you remember, was hello. Now, if you want to implement publish subscribe, you need a more sophisticated, messaging model. So producers are not going to directly send messages to queues anymore if we want to implement publish subscribe. Instead, the messages are going to get sent to something called exchanges in RabbitMQ. So if you take a look at RabbitMQ UI, you'll see that it says queues and streams, and then there is another tab called exchanges. So there are different exchanges here. Actually, some of these exchanges come from, some other training videos that I wanted to create. So the exchanges are listed under this tab, right? So let's talk about what an exchange is. An exchange receives messages from producers and routes them to one or more queues. So basically, an exchange sits between a producer and queues. So think of an exchange as a message router or a switchboard. It needs to know the rules for how to distribute the incoming messages to the bound queues. So there's going to be, for example, one exchange. There are going to be several queues, and that exchange is going to be responsible for routing those messages, incoming messages, to those queues. But for the exchange to be able to do that, it needs to know, right, what queues need to get what messages. And these routings are going to get implemented using rules, right? Using rules and the different exchange types that we have. So RabbitMQ comes with a couple of, different exchange types, like for example, direct, topic, headers, fan out, and so on. I'm sorry. And to implement the publish subscribe pattern, we're going to implement the fan out exchange. So fan out, as the name suggests, it means that one single message arrives, and then that message is going to get delivered to different, to more than one queue. So that is fan out. Let's talk about fan out a little bit more. So fan out is one of the exchanges that RabbitMQ provides. It's very simple. Basically, it gets a message and then it broadcasts that message to more than one queue, or to all of the queues that are bound to that exchange. So imagine, for example, a radio station, an analogy, right? So a radio station transmits a signal. All of the radios tuned to that frequency receive that, signal, that broadcast. So similarly, any queue bound to a fan-out exchange will receive a copy of every message published to that exchange. So for example, if you check out this orders or logs, you see that we have this exchange, and then we can have as many queues as we want, and we can bind those queues to that exchange. And when you send a message not to a queue but to this exchange, if this is a fan out exchange, that message is going to be broadcast to every single queue that is bound to this exchange. So this is the concept of a fan out exchange, and this is the reason why using fan out we can implement the publish subscribe pattern. So publish subscribe means one message gets published, more than one receiver or subscriber receive a copy of that message. Now we're going to write the producer. So basically what we want to do, inside of this solution, you can see that I have this branch number 2. I have removed the code that we wrote in the previous episode for the producer and the consumer. We are on a fresh new branch, and we're going to write the producer and the consumer. And the basic idea, as you might guess, is that we're going to, publish a message using our producer, right? Using our producer, we're going to, publish a message to an exchange that exists, for example, here. And then that exchange will route that, a specific message to more than one queue. And then using the consumer or the consumers that we have, we are going to, bind to that exchange and receive a copy of that, message. Now, first, let's write the code for the producer application. So basically, as before, we are going to create the connection. This is something we also did in the previous episode. And then we're going to create our connection factory, our connection, our channel, right? And then we're going to create our fan out exchange. The name is logs. As you can see, the type of the, exchange is fan out. And then there is a method called get messages. We're going to call get messages on the arguments, right? And we're going to convert, that to a byte using this UTF get bytes. Then we're going to publish, and then we're going to say that, so the message has been published and we are ready to, exit the program. And then the get message function is going to use the command line arguments of the application. And then, it's going to join them together. If the length is more than 0, it's going to join them together. Otherwise, it's going to set, a default command line argument. So I think the thing that, is different from the previous example is that right now we are declaring our exchange. So if you remember in the previous episode, we didn't declare the exchange, right? So we had one single queue. But here we are declaring the exchange, and when we are publishing to that exchange. And the routing key is going to be empty. The routing keys are ignored for fan out exchanges. We are going to use, routing keys in the upcoming episodes, in future episodes. And on my RabbitMQ right now, I do have the, logs exchange, and that is going to get used by the, consumer. Now, that was the code for the, producer. Let me write down the code for the consumer as well. So in the consumer, again, we need to create our connection factory using localhost as our host name. We're going to create our connection and then our channel. And then we need to bind to that fan out exchange called logs using exchange declare async. We're going to specify the name as logs. Exchange type is fan out. Then we're going to create an instance of queue_declare OK type. We're going to call the queue_declare async, and then we're going to, get the name of the queue, and then we're going to bind queue_bind async. We're going to bind to that queue using the exchange called logs, and then we're going to wait for logs to arrive. And of course, we need to handle that received async method on our consumer as well. And whenever we get a message, we're going to convert it to, string, and then we are going to write it to the console. And of course, we're going to return a task completed task. And then we need to start consuming messages. So basic consume async, as before, we specified the name of the queue, auto ACK is going to be true, and then consumer is going to be the consumer. Again, something that is of importance here, compared to what we did in the previous episode, is that here we are declaring our queue. We are getting the name of the queue, right? This is a temporary queue, by the way. And then we are using the name of that queue. And then we are using the name of the exchange, which is logs, and the routing key that will be ignored here. As you can see here, we are declaring the exchange as well. The name of the exchange is logs, and the type is fan out. So this is the consumer. Now, what I want to do before I, run these two applications is to go to the notes one more time and talk about the way we want to run these two applications, because it's a little bit different from the previous ones. So now let's run them. what we want to do is to run more than one instance for the consumer app. So basically, we're going to navigate to the consumer app application, and then we're going to run one instance, right? And again, we are going to run another instance of the same application as well. Because as you remember, the idea was that one publisher or one producer publishes a message, and then multiple subscribers or consumers are going to get that message or get one copy of that message. And then, of course, we need to run an instance of the producer application as well, because, of course, we want to run the application to create something, to create a message. And whenever we run the application, we can pass in a command line argument. And if we do not pass in the command line argument, if you remember, some default string is going to be used. And then, of course, what we can do is that we run the producer. The producer is going to get, is going to produce a message, is going to send a message to the exchange, not to the, queue. And then all of our running consumers are going to receive one copy of that message. So this is, again, the basic idea behind producer, publisher, subscriber, or publish, subscribe. So you can have as many, consumers as you want. One publisher is going to publish a message. The consumers are going to receive a copy. Let me go to my Visual Studio. So here, if you check out this window, right now I am going to get to the consumer app and I am going to run it. So I have one instance of my consumer running here. I am going to do the same thing on this other window. Let it run. So right now I have two instances of the consumer. Both of these are waiting for logs or for messages coming from the producer. Now I want to run the producer. I'm gonna go to producer .NET run, and I'm gonna say this is a message from the producer. I'm going to run this. So this is the command line argument. It says sent. This is a message from the producer. Now, if I check out my consumers, each one of my consumers are going to get a copy of this, published message from the producer. So this is the publish subscribe pattern using RabbitMQ, using the logs exchange, which is a fan out exchange. This is something that I already had in RabbitMQ. As I told you, I used it for a training video, but yeah, this is an exchange, a fan out exchange. And then we are going to send messages to our exchange, and our consumers are going to use that exchange. Now, I want to talk about working with dynamic queues a little bit before I wrap up this video. So in previous examples, we created queues with a specific names like hello in episode number 1 or task queue, whatever. This is important when you want to produce, when you want your producers and consumers to target a specific queue, because in the previous episode, we used queues. However, in this example, our logging, system, we don't need to target a particular queue because we just need to receive all our log messages, right? So we're only interested in the current messages that follow through the flow through the system, not past ones. So we need a dynamic approach to creating queues. Now, here are two things you'll need to do. Fresh empty queues. When you want to connect to RabbitMQ, you need a new empty queue. So we can basically create a queue with a random name, or better yet, let RabbitMQ generate a random name for us. Auto delete queues. Once we disconnect the consumer, the queue that we created or we let the RabbitMQ create for us needs to be deleted automatically. This is useful for temporary queues that only exist for the duration of the consumer's connection. So by combining or using these two strategies, we can ensure that each consumer will only receive the messages that are currently flowing through the system without, keeping or retaining any old or unnecessary data. This approach, combining fan-out exchanges with dynamic queues, which is something that we did in this video, is an excellent way to handle scenarios like log aggregation, where you want to distribute, for example, one single message to as many consumers as there are, without, for example, worrying about specifying exact queues upfront. So it simplifies your architecture and allows for more flexible, scalable systems. This is the end of this episode. In the next one, I want to talk about work queues, right? I want to show you how to implement work queues inside of an application, and I'm going to tell you what work queues are. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and stay around and make sure you watch the next episode as well. Bye-bye.